Welcome to QSR Nation, your weekly dose of food service marketing tips and business strategies for success. Here's your hosts, Josh Anderson, Beth Oots, and Anthony Pierce from the PFS Brands National Headquarters.
Hey everybody, welcome back to QSR Nation. As always, we have Josh, Beth, and Tony here from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holtzman, Missouri to talk about food service marketing and business strategies for success. Today we're going to discuss kind of how to get more customer buy-in, really marketing your store and location as either like locally owned, employee owned, or things like that. I know, Beth, this is a subject you really wanted to touch on.
It is. You know, there's something about when you have that connection with a retailer or just with your customers knowing that, hey, I'm going to go to a locally owned produce section or a produce store because you know that you're going to be boosting that local economy because you have that connection there. You need to make sure that you are marketing to that and grabbing that connection with the customer. So don't be afraid to put locally owned or employee owned if you are fortunate enough to be able to have that type of a business. On any of your digital screens, on your windows, everything that you possibly can, be sure to put that on there. I know grocery stores are always notorious for doing that, you know, whether it's locally owned, employee owned, you know, you get that appreciation, you understand their hard work, but you want to give back to the community. So make sure that you're highlighting that to boost your sales.
You know, another thing too is, I mean, this may sound a little self-serving because we're 100% employee owned, but several of the grocery stores that, you know, you visit that are also employee owned, you know, the folks tend to work a little harder, put a little extra, you know, oomph behind it because there's a profit sharing involved. There's, you know, something there that, I mean, that they're all have a stake in the game and the outcome, and you know how they treat their customers should ultimately affect their sales and their profit sharing, their personal, you know, checkbooks. So, and the hope is always that with a locally owned and employee owned establishment that they're going to, you know, step their game up and do a little bit more. I know I've got a friend that owns multiple QSRs of another franchise, and he's got it all over. It's owned by his family on the entrance doors and on the drive-through windows and everything. And I even asked one time, I said, you know, do you ever see that as, do people ever see that as arrogance because you're putting that you own it? And he said, no. He said, you know, that's my family's name that's on there and people know that I own them. He said, and I want them to know I take pride in my establishment and I take pride in the fact that, you know, this is how we serve our community, this is how we make our living, but it's also how we give back to our community through sponsorships, through payroll taxes, through property taxes. You know, he goes, we're an integral part of the community, and having that on everything that we do is vitally important to us. And so for those of you that might think that, well, maybe that's arrogant, or to, you know, have your family owns this, or that it's family owned or locally owned, I mean, it is absolutely not. I mean, that is an opportunity for you to say, you know, especially if you have an employee, maybe you're locally owned, but you aren't 100% employee owned, for instance, you know, and just remind the folks that, you know, that work with you, work for you, that, hey, you know, it's my name on the building, or hey, it's, you know, this is everything that, you know, it means to my family, and I want to give back to the kids' baseball team or the soccer team, or whatever. I want to support the local high school. You know, I want to do these things and keep the money local and help, you know, educate your team members the importance of a strong local economy. And it all starts with locally owned businesses.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think we all touched on a little bit. It kind of creates a little more consumer buy-in, you know, so to speak. Instead of their money going to some corporate headquarters 5 states down the road, they know it gets to stay in the community, and kind of just increases that sense of self-pride and local pride and things like that.
Exactly.
You know, and there's a lot of opportunities out there to, you know, to partner with, you know, local other businesses and, you know, different, whether it's through a chamber or whether it's through, you know, different associations, but, you know, just take pride in that, you know, own that opportunity, and, you know, make sure that you're consistently letting folks know that, you know, thank you for shopping local, thank you for shopping for locally owned, you know, really, because those are one of the greatest things to know that a consumer has been able to contribute, got a great value, and helped their own community through just their everyday purchasing.
And don't be afraid to team up with your local charities as well. So if you have a local pet shelter or something like that you wanted to be able to say, hey, not only by shopping here, you can also give back to a local charity, that, you know, you're
impacting.
I was like, you're pulling at the heartstrings of different customers, and so you're going to be able to boost those sales that way. So don't be afraid to team up with your local charities.
Lots of great things can take place when you take pride in that local and employee ownership.
So if you need some more strategies on how to really market your locally owned aspect of your business, you can reach out to us at mdf@pfsbrands.com. We can definitely give you several ways to do that. Do you guys have anything else to add about this?
No, just enjoy it and take pride in your stores.
Display it proudly.
Take pride in it once again. So guys, for Josh, Beth, and Tony and QSR Nation, we'll talk to you next week.
Stop by next week for another QSR Nation episode or visit pfsbrands.com.